listen to respond, like just take your time, you know, take your time. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Prim and I love sharing videos on being a mum. I like makeup a lot and I just love chatting in general, so I cover quite a lot of topics in between, so definitely stick around. In today's video I'm going to talk about living with in-laws and how to build a good relationship. Now I want to make it really honest and clear. So I have to say, you know, it can be good, but there's times where it can be really, really challenging. I'm guessing that my parents and my in-laws are probably going to watch this at some point, so hey mamas, hi dads. I've got a few notes that I made, and just to give you a bit of context if you haven't been following my channel, and I feel like this isn't something I talk about all the time, but basically we decided to move in with in-laws in 2018, Jan 2018, and it was actually something that was spurred by me. My husband initially wasn't so keen, wasn't really up for it, because we'd been in our own space renting for 2 years, and it was going well, but for me I felt like in order to get closer to our bigger vision and get, you know, a starter home and continue growing our family, we needed to kind of accelerate how we were, one, clearing debt, but two, actively saving. So he was a full-time student at the time and I had been working up in the city, but I moved to a job locally so that I could actually be closer to our child. So there were definitely financial implications. So that's kind of the real main driver. We were super privileged to, one, have parents that were willing to have us, not just us, and a grandchild that likes to climb on things, jump off things, and just is a busy child like most children. So thankfully my in-laws had the space, because he basically just moved out of home, so they had the space, their hearts were open to it, and that's how we came to be living at home. And I feel like, having come into the space, I was quite shy and I wasn't too sure what to expect. And although I'd been part of the family for 2 years, it's different when you come home for a day, for like a Saturday barbecue. When you now live in the house, it's very different. So I think the first thing that I feel like is essential is showing gratitude and being sincere with my in-laws, and I'm someone that finds it quite easy actually, you know, to say thank you and to be quite genuine about it, because I mean to be genuine. And I think for me, showing gratitude was easy because I felt it most. I was the one that made the decision that we should take this step, and I had the conversations with them. So this is one where I think that was the next step. So stay civil no matter what. Now it can be really hard. You might disagree on certain things with your partner, you might disagree on certain things with his siblings, or certain ways that the parents like to do things, but to be honest, I think that's where you also have to like overlook like the little things, and just, you know, don't always feel like you need to have your voice heard. You know, like don't listen to respond, like just take your time, you know, take your time, because you might say something. Take your time. To avoid any negative talk, so, you know, back talk about your family members to other people, that's not healthy, because you start building resentment. And I think sometimes, obviously, there's definitely behaviours and ways of doing things that aren't going to be aligned. My mother-in-law might like cutting her toast in half, I like to cut mine in squares, whatever. But it's little things like that, like you learn behaviours, you learn patterns. So be someone who's willing to kind of learn and adapt to the environment you're in, the home you're in. People like to wash dishes a certain way, there's certain pots that are to be used, certain pots aren't, certain plates, certain aren't, you know, just like pay attention, take it on board, and you know, really you're trying to make yourself fit in, but you also try not to offend a lot of the time. That's the reality, okay? And one of the best ways to kind of bond and build the relationship up is to find a hobby that you share in common. And it can be anything, but I think parents love when you ask for their advice and you genuinely pay attention to what they like and how they like to do things, and you try and learn. I have to be honest, when I first got married, I'm not the biggest cook, I'm not the greatest cook, but you know, I listen. And for example, my father-in-law has a sweet tooth, he likes cakes, he likes baking, and I'm trying, because I just feel like it's just so nice to kind of share that, and he teaches me things, and that's nice. So I feel like we bond over things like that. With my mother-in-law, it's, you know, questions about things that I can do with Riley, or you know, she'll ask me stuff about makeup, skincare, and it's just kind of building up that little bit of friendship and finding things that make you bond outside of this human being, the husband, that you all have a common interest in, that you all love, that they've raised, that kind of thing. Like I was saying, ask for their advice, include them, make them feel like you care to be part of them, and naturally for them as well, they'll be trying to do the same. And if I'm honest, I think, you know, moving in with in-laws isn't something that you need to like take lightly and just think boom, it's gonna happen. Like, assess what the dynamic is. I feel like I was quite lucky. They'd already known me through childhood. They knew that, you know, I'm quite light-hearted, I like to play, I'm quite a playful personality. And overall, I'll be honest, it's not always easy, it's not always pleasant. I miss personal space. Sometimes we want to maybe have a date night, or we're thinking about, you know, just to chill, just to relax. But if you're in your own flat, if you don't feel like washing the dishes, you just don't wash the dishes. However, you know, you're kind of a little bit more mindful when you're living with in-laws. You are trying to keep the place presentable all the time, cleaning up after your child. You kind of take on that responsibility, and it's actually good, you know, on the upside, because everyone kind of looks to you as a responsible figure and someone that can take care of the home. So I feel like it also allows you to make a good impression. But you know, overall, I would say if you're thinking about moving in with in-laws, or you already live with them, just be confident within yourself. And when there are things that are challenging, definitely talk to your partner. But I think I'm going to do more videos about life with in-laws, and how it all works out, and possibly try and get them to feature in a video. So I might do an Instagram Q&A, and see how that goes down. But hopefully this is kind of helpful to give you a bit of insight about the reasoning process when you're considering it and what to expect. Until the next video, guys, take care.